Good afternoon to the Shans and welcome back to Tagum Doctors College. So last week we have learned about lesson number 14 and now let's go to lesson number 15, and this is about the indigenization movement in the social sciences. So because we just have a limited time, so we will just discuss lesson number 15, 16, 17, and 18 today. But we are not going to have our assessments. So please listen carefully to know more about our topic or our lesson or subject, discipline in social sciences. Because this one is needed, or this information should be needed in your next subject, which is the discipline in applied social sciences. Okay? So, now let's go. Let's go to lesson number 15. So, at the end of the lesson, guys, you are expected to first internalize the importance of indigenous values and concepts in relating with fellow Filipinos, and then you are going to correct the wrong notions about Filipino values and belief system. And then apply the theories and concepts in Psikolohiyang Pilipino, pantayang pananaw ng Pilipinolohiya in writing papers. And then doing research and undertaking development work. So in this chapter, guys, we are going to talk about indigenization movement in the social sciences, like the colonialization na naging malaki yung effect sa Filipino scholars and even Filipino people. Our identities and knowledge system are affected because of colonization or colonialization or colonialism. So for the indigenization movement, guys, it wants or it seeks to achieve what Renato Constantino described as the decolonized Filipino. So indigenization is a part of decolonization. So we know or we want to seek the reassert in this indigenous identity and nationality sovereignty. So saan ba tayo nanggaling? Ano ba yung kinagisdan natin? So ato to siyang ibalik. So that's why we need to have a decolonized Filipino. And then, ang nindot ani because we will be having our own identity, but ang ano lang ani niya, the negative thing in it is like we need also to adapt those positive things that we learn from the differentiated countries, and then from that we will use that knowledge to be more knowledgeable and dili na ta ma-colonize sa uban nga country. So let's unlock the difficulties, guys. So first, Pilipinolohiya. So unsa ni siya? It is an ideology, so it is like an ideas or studies of ideas that promotes the use of Filipino indigenous knowledge. So gina-promote or gina-encourage ang tanan nga mga Filipino people to know or to use the Filipino indigenous knowledge. So kung sa to ato ang nahibalaan, sa to ato ang mga knowledge and wisdom in the indigenous knowledge. So it means like when we are or the prehistoric nga mga tao, like for example ang mga unang nga Tagalog, mga unang nga Bisaya, mga sinaunang Cebuano hon. So those indigenous knowledge should be promoted in the Filipino sector or even in the sciences and humanities. So mo na siya ang gusto sa Pilipinolohiya. Next is privatization. Privatization is the transfer of public enterprise or agencies to private ownership and control. So, ang nindot ani guys is like privatization is like those public entities or public enterprises katong mga panag-iya or corporation or even businesses and enterprises nga panag-iya sa government ano siya, ibalhin ang ownership and control sa private individual. Like for example, a group of corporation, a group of people. So that is privatization, which is it has a good side, but it also has a lot of negative side po. Next is the world system theory. So world system theory is like theory which analyzes history. So gina-analyze niya ang unsa nahitabo sa history, unsa nga to ang development, and then based on the world system, which is a categorization of world regions based on the distribution of resources, division of labor, and economic growth. So now let's go to the lecture notes. So let's try to know about indigenization, psikolohiyang Pilipino, pantayong pananaw. So we have also learned about the Filipinihiya, the Philippines and its people. So bakit nga ba? Bakit a lot of people or even social scientists would want to employ those things that we have learned, our knowledge and wisdom in when it comes to Filipino identity. So gusto nila nga i-restore. Bakit nga ba kailangan natin i-restore ang ating sariling identity? So it is because they want to to express and even embed the ideas, experiences, and aspirations of Filipinos. So, even though naay daghan jud nga kahanga-hanga nga mga tao sa nga tagalaing lugar, Amerikano, Espanyol, Hapon, they have a lot of kanang kahanga-hanga nga mga tao. But actually guys, we need also to realize that we also have our own characterization. We also have our own ideas. We also have our own people who are magnificent enough to be or to have a great experiences and even aspirations. So okay lang man or napod siya positive things nga muhanga ka sa ubang tao, but you need also to aspire yourself nga kanang even you are a Filipino, you can do amazing things. You can also you can also drive and even be an inspiration or serve an inspiration to your fellow men or even Filipino. So just like Jose Rizal, he is amazing. He know a lot of languages and even he is also our national hero. And without the without the usage of kanang harm, he really became a very good national hero. With the pen, he really expressed that the Filipino people need to be need to have freedom. So inana siya guys. That is also very important why we need to know our ang kanang identity. We need to know our indigenization and even asa tagyud nagikan. Like kasi para para may balaan nato and even we can also express that even though we are Filipino people, we can do good things and even special things. So mo na siya ang nindot sa indigenization. So most likely indigenization, it is the act of making something more native. So that's why kanang ginaano pud nato, gina-promote pud sa government nga dapat intangkilik ang sariling kultura, sariling mga products. So that is also part of indigenization. So need to make something that is more native. And then transformation of some service idea to suit a local culture. So you need also to so sa ato ang mga nahibalaan from the colonialization, from the different countries that colonize us, and even the services and then the ideas that they have contributed to us, from that we can also suit it or we can use it to more and even use it in our local culture. So through the use of indigenous people, so dapat dili gid sila mawala even though they are instinct or kanang gamay na lang gid sila. So we need to help them. We need to help them grow. And then we need to have a good administration and even kanang use of that local culture and even employment. They are also entitled to that. So dili pwede nga malimos lang because they are also our national treasure and even our national identity. Kanang mga lahi-lahi nga mga tribo, they need to have a good life kasi in that way we can preserve our identity and even our gigikanan nato. So for the indigenization movement guys in the Philippines, it rejects the positivist stance of mainstream social sciences, which maintains the social inquiry must remain neutral and passive. So yung social inquiry natin dapat ano lang siya, neutral and passive. So modyo na siya ang ang ginaprotektahan sa indigenization movement, kasi dili pwede nga mas mulabaw ang katong colonial mindset nato kaysa sa ato ang Filipino mindset, and even in differentiated things. So because our mindset, or our Filipino mindset, and then the colonialization mindset would really contradict. So that's why we need to promote differentiated more native things and Filipino things in our country, para dili na to makalimtan ang ato ang gigikanan. Next is Psikolohiyang Pilipino. Psikolohiyang Pilipino seeks to indigenize the theory, method, and practice of psychology and rejects the tradition of mainstream psychology, which is Western-oriented and overly dependent on quantitative approaches in studying human behavior. So, yung Psikolohiyang Pilipino, guys, it is the theory. Medyo, kuan kay siya, kanang broad. Naadira tong indigenization theory, naadira tong indigenization method and practice of psychology. So, unsa ang mga tradisyon na ginabuhat nato as our kanang mainstream psychology as a Filipino people, ug unsa po na ato ang ginabuhat as a Western-oriented nga mindset, and then overly dependent on quantitative approaches. So, most likely, there are a lot. Even our cell phones, kung mutanaw ka sa imong balay, halos tanan, dili Filipino made. Most likely, a lot of our things in our house is colonial mindset, gid siya, no? Kanang colonial things. Our computers are made of in different countries. Our glasses, our cell phones, our shoes are made by different countries. So I hope and pray that we will also have like Filipino people or Filipino products that is made here, or that is utilized with the things that can be found in the Philippines and not in the other countries. So I hope so, para mo lambo ang ato ang country, because this is also needed for our our economy to grow, our life to grow, and the Filipino will also have a good life. Tangkilikin natin ang sariling atin. That is for Psikolohiyang Pilipino. So, iyahang ginastadihan na siya mga theory dira, na siya mga methodologies dira, na siya practice para ma-reject na to ang katong Western-oriented na to nga pangutok. But actually, it's not really easy. So, we have, because we are colonized with the different countries, and it is a long-term basis, that's why it is very hard to love our own, because some of our products also are not that very good, kanang dili pud siya nindot og quality ba. So that's why we tend to go to the other countries product. But I hope and pray that we can also have very good smartphones, Filipino made smartphones na dili dali maguba, dili dali malubat, but also a good quality one, and even differentiated computers that is Filipino made, na kanang makaingon jud ta ba nga nindot nga mga quality and specs nga mga butang and nga gamit, because of that we can help our economy. At the same time, we can also survive and even have a good life. Daghan og mga Pilipino nga mga tao nga makaroon og maayong panginabuhi. Next is the pantayong pananaw. So the pantayong pananaw, guys, is a deeper and clearer understanding of Filipino history. So we need to have a very deep and clear sense of understanding unsa gyud nahitabo sa history sa mga Pilipino, unsa ang history sa mga differentiated strength and weaknesses of Filipino people. So that is very important, guys. In that way, we can really love our own. We can influence other people to love our own. And then we also inspire people that we are not just kasi ang mindset man gud sa taga-ubang nasod sa to is like we are just slave. Filipinos are born to be slave, just like that. So I hope that this mindset would really erase, kasi din sa ating colonial mindset mao po na siya ang nakaapekto sa to. And then in that way, kanang musugot lang taog kanang okay ra magasinasin basta loving, okay ra magsaging-saging basta loving. It is because of our colonial mindset, because we are kanang gusto lang og easy life, dili lang ta mag-eskwela. Gusto lang og easy life, that's why a lot of us would not go into school, go into hardship kasi nga dili gusto magkalisod-lisod. So most likely we need to we need also to accept that we need to do everything and kanang good things and hard work para makabot nato ang atoang learning goals, atoang differentiated goals, and even a differentiated success. So always remember guys to get to make your success every day like you are one day step ahead or one step through your goals. So inana siya guys. We need also to be patriotic, try to know and study the Philippine history, try to know and study the Philippine culture. We should try to know the Philippine languages, the Philippine society, and the Philippine life. We need also to comprehend deeply kung unsa gyud ang mga panghitabo sa Pilipinas. We need also to know the contemporary issues of the Philippines. Makialam guys. So para sa kanta nga, kilos ka bataan, bukas buhay natin to, makialam, makijam, makilahok. So inana siya guys. So we need to really join humanitarian reasons and even those programs that can bring a better version of ourselves. And even we need also to know the indigenizing social sciences disciplines. So kani siya nga mga butang guys, if you want to be a lawyer someday or if you want to be a psychologist or a Filipino career woman or a man, so we need to really know the theory and practices of differentiated social context or Philippine social context. So that would be all for lesson number 15. Now let's go to lesson number 16, which is about the interdisciplinary social science research. So always remember guys that our social science research are differentiated things. So apil gihapon ni siya sa kanang mga butang dapat mahitabo o dapat matun-an sa kayum student. So for the research guys, it is about the gathering. So you need to gather data, you need to validate data, you need to gather and also validate information. So these are the 4 fundamental practices in social sciences. So dili lang sa mga STEM student ang research guys, it is also for the social sciences and even for the UM student. So because ang research is for all, in research there is also money, and in research there is also growth and kanang gathering and validating of data. So you need to know this one so that you will know and even validate and evaluate things nga asa diri ang tama, asa diri ang dili tama. And ana siya guys. So now let's try to know about the social science research is scientific. So always remember that social science research is very scientific because it really needs or it really seeks to understand the hows and whys of human behavior. So nganong inani siya, nganong nagainani siya, it is because of differentiated things and even experiences and even daghan og naka-influensya ana. So that's why social science should be really scientific. And then for this activity guys, for the social science research, dili lang ni siya kanang dili lang ni siya about the activity of gathering, the activity of analyzing and interpreting. It is also more on interpreting the informations for a variety of ways. So in even in variety of kanang information and even a variety of ways and steps by step systematic way of getting data. So just like for example for social, so like for example if you want to know the the phenomenology of the things or of a certain tribe, so you need to really kanang devote yourself in that place, and even you need to you need to immerse into their lifestyle. Kailangan ka mo puyo dito pila ka tuig, pila ka years para ano, para makabalo ka kung unsa ang ilahang yung live experiences. So inana siya guys. So for economic too, you need also to do differentiated studies, and even you need to come up with differentiated statistics to know the economic situation of different society, even for the educational and political purposes. So moagi jud ka og lahi-lahi nga pamaagi. So magdepende ni siya kung unsa gyud ang inyuhang gusto nga pilion in the college years. Like for example, if you are going to be a psychology, so you are more on the social and even for the emotional quotient of differentiated people. And then for social science research papers, guys, it is also consider the principles of effective design. So you need to validate, and then you need to really come up with differentiated pamaagi para makuha jud nimo ang imong research results. Like for example, IDI ba siya, in-depth interview, or is it focus group nga interview. So you need to really really scrutinize the things that you are going to measure, or the data procedure that you are going to use. Next is for the discipline. So you need to be very specific in what discipline you are going to use, because the discipline is our detailed content knowledge. So it analyzes the phenomena. So it may be more on the discipline of anthropology. It is maybe through the discipline of economics, discipline in geography, history, political science, psychology, and sociology. So lahi-lahi yun siya guys. Next is the interdisciplinary. So social science research links one social science discipline with others through collaboration. The analysis of social issues and phenomena is rendered more powerful and holistic when formulated from a broader perspective. So interdisciplinary, guys, always remember is social science, and even social science research is interdisciplinary. So lahi-lahi gid siya, and it means like daghan siya kay siya og set, like for example anthropology, economics, geography, but kani siya interlinkage, like they have their own relationship. Like for example, if you are going to study the differentiated behavioral tendencies of differentiated student, like, or for example for a certain group, like for example grade 11 students. So when you study about the differentiated behavioral tendencies about them, so you can really you need to seek information and even validated questionnaires through a psychology or even a school counselor. So inana siya guys. So even though you are a social science major, you need to use differentiated interdisciplinary social research. So that's why in focusing to a certain social science disciplinary, always remember that it can also link, and even you need to collaborate with different career in social science. Like for example, if you are a psychologist, you need to collaborate with a geographist, or maybe you need to collaborate with a sociologist, just like that, because magka-link lang manggod na sila, labi na og kanang lahi-lahi nga mga butang and even disciplines ang imuhang kuanon imong i-touch. So most likely the career options for interdisciplinary social sciences, so you can if you want to graduate as a Bachelor of Science in Interdisciplinary Social Sciences, so you can be a social studies teacher. So just like me, you can be a soc science teacher, you can be a legislative aid or analyst, pwede po ka mahimong research analyst, pwede ka mahimong assistant planner, pwede ka mahimong federal and state agencies, pwede ka mahimong public administrator, pwede ka mahimong city and country planning department. So pwede ka magtrabaho dito. So that is for social sciences. So always remember guys, it is not just limited with specific things that you need to do, or even the specific job that you need to do. So you need also to collaborate. You need also to do a certain job that will make you, or will uh, you will find help with differentiated careers in social sciences. So, and then always remember, guys, that in graduating social sciences, you can also include and even get differentiated um, things, and even differentiated subjects. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Now, for lesson number 17, guys, we are going to know and talk about the addressing development issues using the social sciences. So, we need to always remember, guys, that there are a lot of problems in our society. So, that's why we need to study about development. So, saan na to pag-develop nga dili maapektuhan ang atong environment, but we can also, or we can still give differentiated good life to our people. So, for development, guys, when we say development, it is more on an issue that is at the heart of the social sciences. Mao jud ni siya ang issue sa, or pinaka-focus sa social sciences. Gusto ta nga mo develop or magkaroon ta og klase-klase nga development for the people to have a good life. So, unsa day ang success sa lahi-lahi nga mga tao, or maybe lahi-lahi pud ang kanang good life para sa lahi-lahi nga mga tao. So, there are a lot of people who would say that if you have a lot of money, then you are successful and you are well developed. If you are well educated, then you are successful and well developed. So lahi-lahi na siya sa lahi-lahi nga mga tao. And then, but this one is very important. It is because you are going to address differentiated society's problem. So kani nga mga problema na to society are the differentiated disasters. So how can we prevent it, and how can we cope up or rehabilitate the places and even the people that is being broken by differentiated disasters. So inana siya, guys. So daghan kay siya og link, but most likely ang iyang pinaka goal or pinaka sentro niya is to have a good life, or for the people to have a good life. So that's why you are schooling right now, because your parents really want you to have a good life. Inana siya, guys. So youth development, so most likely you are very developed and you are processed and prepared to be a good people, and to know how to cope up with challenges and differentiated opportunities in your growing years. So youth development, they really want to promote those activities and experiences that will help you in different genres and even specific things in life. So gina-prepare mo to the real life experiences and to the real life struggles and opportunities. So you need to learn a lot so that you will know how to cope up with struggles, and you need also to know how to cope up with differentiated opportunities. So unsaon ninyo na pag ug namoy daghan kay nga opportunities, unsaon ninyo pag-weigh within the positive and negative things about those opportunities. So that's why you need to develop your social skills, your ethical, your emotional, your physical, and your competitive or cognitive competencies. So always remember, you need to be more competitive. So not the bad things and being in a competition, but the good things that being in the competition. Okay? Like for example, for the environmental development too. So we need also to have a very good infrastructure, but with a lesser kanang kadautan sa environment. We need also to have a scenic surroundings to para daghantag mga tourist or even tourist spot. So we need also to have green areas and then the public spaces. So that's why na-invento ang kaning sa tawag ni apartments. It is because you are just in just one place or one like 1 hectare of land, kana lang imuhang puy-an with a differentiated or with different families, and lahi-lahi siya nga mga tao or daghan na siya nga population. It is because kung kuan gyud siya tagsa-tagsa nga balay, most likely it consume a lot of environment. So mo-consume siya og daghan kayo nga yuta og daghan kayo nga environment. So like for example, sa una nga panahon ang kaning RTU is like sagingan ni siya agricultural land. But now, it is now a housing or a home development land. So, most likely, hindi na masama ang pag-unlad pero makasira lang siya ng environment. So that's why we need to preserve our environment. And then next is the women empowerment. So this is also one of the development that a lot of people are praying, because in the old age, women are not empowered. Women are just slaves for their husbands and men. So ang ilahalag yung main goal or ang ilahalag yung main na trabaho is i-protect ang balay o ang ilahang mga anak, and even to bring children to their parents and to their husbands. But now, women are free, and we also have freedom, and even lead in the social and economic, political, and caste and gender-based discrimination. So a lot of women now is becoming leaders. So most likely, we are building an equal world, an even equal country. So we can be free from differentiated vicious grips, or even kanang malicious and kanang bully from differentiated men. So women are empowered, we can be leaders, we have chance to develop, and we have chance to know or understand the world, and even improve the world. Agricultural development. So the agricultural resources should be protected. It should be a research sphere. So meaning we need to develop different researches that can help the agricultural sector, and even for the agriculture to develop. And then policy development. So we need also to improve our policy. So maybe our policy in the history or even in the old age is not applicable already in the new age. Labi na sa kanang mga cybercrime sa unang panahon, kay crime lang ang ato ang nasa to ang policy and even balaod. But now we are developing our policy and even our laws. So nanatay cybercrime law. So always remember, guys, that the development can be viewed in different levels. So we have the macro level and the micro level. So in totality or in bigger scope, what are the development that we can use, or the development for political development and socio-economic development that can shape differentiated social and political processes. We also have the micro development for each of the human developments sa mga tao, isa-isa sa toa. That's why your parents are really doing their best to send you in school, or even to make you learn, and even to graduate to make you graduate from differentiated education level. It is because they want to have a micro level perspective, or they have a micro level perspective that you have the right to education, and then you have the right to liberties and even to freedom. So that is all for development, guys. So we need to have the policy development, agriculture development, the women empowerment, environmental development, and the youth development. So now let's go to the last chapter, which is chapter 18, the professions and social sciences. So always remember, guys, that in social sciences there are differentiated profession. So you can be an artist, you can be a mass media, or maybe you can be a part of the public service, a lawyer, or maybe a teacher of soksai, or even a social worker, or even a medicine, or just like a psychologist. So in social sciences, it also include in social sciences. You can also be a humanitarian historian, or a humanitarian person. So there are a lot of professions when it comes to social sciences. So always remember that art is how our ancestors recorded the world around them. So sa ilaha, ginadrawing pa nila, ginasulat nila kung sa ilaha makita, and then ginadrawing nila kung sa ilaha makita. So that is how they record and how they feature and picture out the world before us. And then that's why we have art within humanities. So art in how our ancestors recorded the world around them in a time before cameras. We record things the same way today. So most likely we also try to use and even recycle those ideas of how we dress, how we listen to music, how we build buildings, and how we write. So through that mga arts guys in humanities, so most likely so tungod ka nasugdan na siya ngayon ana, we just develop it, or maybe we just make it more developed than in the history. So sa unang panahon, you can just paint with canvas, or even in a stone, or even in a wood. Pero karon daghan na siya og pamaagi, so even you can make art in the computer. So you can use differentiated computer para mo buhat og differentiated arts. We also have the mass media. So you can also broadcast, you can also be a radio announcer, or a DJ, or you can also be a singer, you can record music, or even televise it. So in that way guys, you can be a mass media personnel. So most likely, if you are graduate in Soksai guys, you can also be a public service provider. So you can be someone who can help the public, okay, or be a helping hand in the public. So even in law, so you can also be a lawyer. That is also a part of Soksai. So for education too, so you can also transmit and acquire differentiated knowledge, skills, values, beliefs, and habits. In that way, you can teach and even train and even storytell, discuss, and directed research. You can also have differentiated research when it comes to education. So if you are going to enroll in Soksai, or what we call this one, BS Ed, major in Soksai, so most likely you need to acquire differentiated knowledge and skills. You need also to after that you can teach. At the same time, you can also earn your masteral degree. So Masters of Education, major in teaching, Soksai. So inana na siya guys. And then you can also have the training. So you can also use that to acquire differentiated research. So just like differentiated teachers, we need also to come up with differentiated research na naka-base sa atuang section. Next is the what else? For you also have the law, and then we also have the medicine. So you can also the science and practice of establishing the diagnosis, prognosis, treatment, and prevention of diseases. So medicine encompasses a variety of healthcare practices evolved to maintain and restore health by the prevention and treatment of illness. So in Soksai guys, that's why psychologists are there, because they are there to prevent and treat differentiated illnesses. So most likely this is also a part of humanities, or even in the Soksai or social sciences. So like psychologist, you can be a social worker, a counselor. So those are parts of social sciences. So most likely sa medicine nga part, when it comes to social sciences, they really want to maintain and restore health, and even prevent and treat differentiated illnesses. So that would be all guys for chapter 18. So most likely in chapter 18, you need really to know the career path that you are going. So most of you are going to be psychologists. So most likely you need to finish the course of Bachelor of Science in AB Psychology, or maybe kuan jud katong psychology na gid siya, and then you are going to have your master's degree before you can take the exam for a psychologist. So I hope you get your careers and your dreams in life, guys. So thank you so much for having this lesson, or our subject for the social sciences. I hope you learn a lot today, and always remember to be artistic and to think about being equal to your fellow human. So thank you so much, Shins. Always remember to make your parents proud. Have a great day and see you again. Bye.